Hi friends, today we're going to, in math, we're going to be having a review of Unit 7. I can't believe we're done with Unit 7 and we have like 2 lessons in Unit 8. And that'll be almost the end of math for first grade. I can't believe how quickly it went by. We're going to practice telling time. I'm just going to kind of show you the clock, talk about the parts of a clock. We're going to talk about half past to the hour. Equal parts. I'm going to be drawing some shapes and dividing them into equal parts, maybe by half or by quarters, and see if you remember. And then the last one is three-dimensional shapes. And I'll hold up some different shapes and we'll talk about what it looks like and maybe in real life what those things represent. All right, so telling time, I have my handy dandy clock and I want to kind of review what this is. This is called the face of a clock, just like we have a face. These are the hands of the clock. This is the hour hand. It tells you what hour it's going to be. And this one is the minute hand. And we remember there's 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. And some watches have the second hand where it goes really quickly. You could see it, and that helps move the minutes and things. So I'm going to do some time. Let's see. All right, how about if we do 2 o'clock? And remember, when you're doing clocks, you have to go clockwise. You don't go backwards. So 2 o'clock. How many of you remember the old clock time is pointing to the 12? Let's see, I'm at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Here's the hour, 2, and here's the o'clock time. It's starting the new hour. This is the 2 o'clock hour. So this is how 2 o'clock looks. How about 5 o'clock? And again, I'm going clockwise. There's 5, and I'm using this first, 5 o'clock. I don't say 5:12 or 12:05. We look, we see where the hour hand is pointing, and we know that's the o'clock time, 5 o'clock. And again, we don't say o'clock, we say o'clock, 5 o'clock. We'll do 2 more. How about 10 o'clock? I bet you some of you are staying up later because there's no school. Here we go. There's our 10. There's the hour hand. The hour is 10 o'clock. Now we talked a little bit about half past, or we could say like 30, because remember half of 60 is 30. Half of 12 is 6. So this is halfway between the o'clock time. So if you say, 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9, it'll be 8:30 or 8:30. Now I'll show you that. Hold on. Let me get to 8 o'clock. And remember, I taught you, you always find the o'clock time first. So if I want to find 8 o'clock and then do 8:30 or 8:30, that's what you do, because sometimes you can make a mistake. So here's 8 o'clock, and I want to do 8:30 or 8:30. Most people say 8:30. I don't know why they want us to learn half past, but they do. So here's 8 o'clock. I'm going to go halfway down, so it's 8:30 or 8:30. And remember, each one of these, if you want to count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, it gets you to the 30. And 8:30, it's not 9 o'clock yet, so it's halfway between 8 and 9 o'clock. I'll do a couple more. How about 1:30? So, I heard 1, so I'm going to do the 1 o'clock. There's 1, and now I have to do 1:30, or 1:30. There we go. It's between the 1 and the 2, so it's still 1:30, or 1:30. And I'll do one more. How about 3:30? That was when probably you got home from school. Oop, there we go. So we do 3 o'clock. I went backwards, but that's okay. Here's 3 o'clock, and I want to go 3:30, or 3:30. Here we go, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 3:30. It's not 4 o'clock yet. The hour doesn't say 4. It's still within the 3 o'clock time. So here's 3:30, or 3:30. Last one. How about 6:30, or 6:30? Here's our 6 o'clock, and we want to go half past, or 6:30. And again, you could see it's kind of hard to see, but the hour hand is between the 6 and the 7. It's halfway there. And there's the 30. So it's 6:30. All right, the next thing we're going to review, and I know you guys have, please practice. If you haven't been practicing time, you can make clocks yourself on a piece of paper and have mom do it, or dad, or babysitter. If you have a clock at home, please do that. Remember, with digital time, it's easy to read because you can read the numbers. But practice on an analog clock, not just the digital clock. All right, our next review would be equal parts. And we're just going to do a couple of those. I'm going to draw some shapes and we're going to divide it equally. And remember, we talked about equal. Everybody gets equal amounts. You don't want to have more, or you don't want somebody else to have more. All right, let's see. I'm going to make a big rectangle and a circle. So if I want 2 equal parts, I could divide the rectangle in different ways. I'm going to do it quickly. I'm just going to do this. And look at that. It's pretty equal. I mean, I'm not perfect, but it looks pretty good. Now, if you think about it, here's 1/2 and 1/2. And we talked about there's 2 parts to the rectangle. This is 1/2, and this is the other half. So that shows you equal parts. This is 1/2 of a rectangle. All right, now I'm going to do quarters or fourths. And if you hear the word fourths, you hear that number 4. So I'm going to divide it into 4 equal parts. It looks pretty equal. I always think cookies or pizza maybe. Now, if I want to shade in 1/4, it tells you the answer if you're listening. 1 out of the 4 should be shaded in. And all I'm going to do is this very quickly, because I want to do a couple more. That would be 1/4 is shaded in. So if you see that, you know to fill in only 1 out of the 4. Here's my eraser. Hold on. I'll do a couple more equal parts. Because that was pretty, I hope it was pretty easy. It's not difficult. And again, when you go to 2nd grade, there'll be some harder fractions you'll be doing, because this is an introduction to fractions. All right. Let me try to make a square. Remember, a square is 4 equal sides. It is really a rectangle, but this is a special rectangle. And I'll do a longer rectangle this time. All right, so let's divide our square into fourths, 4 equal parts. I'm going to be a little tricky this time. I want you to see. I'll give you a little wait time to think. I want to shade in 2/4. Gives you the answer, 2/4. That means you shade in 2 out of the 4 pieces. And again, I'm going to go very quickly. 1, 2. Oh, that's kind of cool, because look at 2/4. It also could be, I shaded in half of that square. Look at that. Interesting. That's like 3rd or 4th grade work. All right, rectangle. We're going to divide it in half. 1/2. Nice equal. Think of it as a candy bar. And you're going to divide it into half. And this is 1 out of the 2. And remember, we talk about it. They have to be equal parts. You have to have it equal, because that's fair. And it makes it into a fraction. Here's what I don't want to see. And we talk a lot about that at school. I say no. Just say no. So when I talk about equal parts, and I say, oh, show me half. No way is that 1/2. It has to be equal. There's 2 parts there, Mrs. B, but they're not equal. They have to be equal parts. And I want to be fair, so let's see. We're going to divide it in half. 2 parts divided in half. All right, and our last quick review is going to be about dimensional shapes. And I have my bag of shapes here, and I'll hold them up and very quickly we'll review them. There won't be any homework because it's just kind of a review for Unit 7, and then we'll start Unit 8, which is double-digit addition, which is going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of thinking, but we're going to start that. All right, I'm pulling one out. Oh, it's kind of hard to see, but it's dimensional. It's called a cylinder, and this is like a soda can or soup can, so that's called a cylinder, and there's two faces with no edges on this one. A cylinder. This is the one I like to say. It's not a ball. It's not a circle. It's a you got it? Sphere. And it is. It's the shape of the earth. It's a basketball, but it's not a circle. When we talk about dimensional shape, that means it's got a body. It's called a sphere. Oh, my sphere's rolling off. Ooh, this is a little different. It's a, who knows what that is? Pyramid. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I love that. It's got the face down here, and there's faces here. So it's a pyramid, and when I hold it like that, that's really kind of cool shape. Pyramid. All right, cup. Oh, this is the hard one. Think of a cereal box. It's a rectangular prism. Remember, rectangle has two long sides and two short sides. And it's got a body. So it's a rectangular prism. And I always think of like the cereal boxes kind of help you. Two more. With this hot weather. Think about, what's that one called? Party hat or a ice cream cone. So if you hold it this way, think of ice cream cone. It has one face. If you hold it this way, think of a party hat. So that one's called a cone. And our last one, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. It's a, I think about playing games and you roll this. What do you think? I will call it a dice, but it's, or a die when there's one, but it's actually a cube. And you might even use an ice cube in your lemonade or something that you're drinking when it's hot outside. So this shape, this three-dimensional shape, is called a cube. Again, it was just kind of a quick review of Unit 7, and then the next time I see you, we'll start talking about double-digit addition, getting ready for second grade. I'll see you soon. Bye.